while Zemun is generally among top 10 attractions in the city. So the remnants of the tetragonal fortress once existing as a kind of defensive spot in the 15th century. So these remnants we see on the corners are actually from some towers, 4 of them in 4 corners, while the first ever fortress was here built in the 9th century. But the tower standing in the middle of the fortress, which is just now a nice tourist spot, is actually having nothing to do with the original tower walls, because this tower is actually much younger. It's from 1896. 1896 is the year when Hungarian people celebrated 1000 years of their life in Pannonian Plain. Hungarian origin is from Central Asia. So they have moved from Central Asia towards Central Europe, settled in Pannonian Plain. They were adopting Christianity, but also establishing their medieval states. And later there was a big part, Hungary was part of Austria, but later Austria-Hungary. So my dear people, in 1896, Hungarian people celebrated 1000 years since they came to Europe for the life. And that's how, if you ever visited Budapest in Hungary, then you've seen the beautiful parliament. They also have a big fisherman bastion on the top of the hill. They have a big heroes square, lots of heroes throughout the history. And then this tower was also built in the same year. Metro in Budapest is also from 1896. So why they built this tower? Because this was the most southern point of Austria-Hungary. So basically the most southern Hungarian point of the land. In 1896 this was Austria-Hungary, but as you remember, after World War I, Serbian side took this area because Serbian people were majority around here, but also Austria-Hungary was defeated in the war. And then just to connect with the yesterday's story, when World War I started in 1914, this was this was Austro-Hungarian Empire territory. Belgrade and Hotel Majestic, where you are on the other side, it was Kingdom of Serbia. Now it's all one big metropolis, but just to make sure that those two rivers, the river we crossed was the border. So at the end, World War I, this was part of Austria-Hungary. World War II, Zemun was occupied by the Nazi Croats, who were puppets to Germany, Ustashi regime. That's why, while Belgrade on the other side was bombed heavily, Zemun did not struggle during the wars because it was on the enemy side. That's why some of the older things are remaining here. This tower is called in 2-3 different names. The most famous name is Millennium Tower. Why Millennium? Because you remember it was built on the purpose of 1000 years. But another name is Gardosh Tower. Gardosh is a local name of this hill. So the only hilly part of Zemun is exactly here. Gardosh is combination of Slavic Serbian word grad, which means city. You remember Beograd, white city. But for Hungarian people who also lived here, that was hard to say grad, and they switched the 2 letters in the middle and they said Gard, and they added Osh as a very typical Hungarian. You know, you go Hungary, you eat goulash. Then there is a János, you know, János, Johannes, you know, probably that's the same name. Janko we have here. So at the end, that's how it remained Gardosh. So Gardosh we have here. And another interesting name, listen to this, it's actually from the story from 1456. 1456 was a very big battle for Belgrade. By the way, Constantinopolis was conquered in 1453. There was a big battle, and Constantine the Great won. Constantinopolis was conquered by Mehmed II. Mehmed II was called conqueror, and he was supposed to conquer Belgrade too. The only way the local army could be defending was to unify the force. That's why Hungarian, Serbian, Romanian, and some other Christian fighter volunteers, they came from Central Europe, and then they fought against the Ottomans here in Belgrade. And that's probably TV. Mora završim priču pa ćemo ovako. So what happened is that during that battle there was a Hungarian, János Hunyadi. János Hunyadi was the leader born in Transylvania, but Hungarian origin. He fought against the Ottomans in Belgrade. After 2 weeks of siege, the Ottoman army with Mehmed II was not successful in conquering Belgrade. Listen to this. In those times, there was no WhatsApp to communicate quickly. The news arrived to Vatican 2 weeks later. The Pope in those times claimed that it was the happiest day ever in his life when he heard that Belgrade was still under the Christian command. And interesting, the Ottoman army with Mehmed II retreated. The battle was led by Janjo Škunjadi or Janko Sibinjan, Hungarian hero. He came back. Here there was a kind of Christian military camp, and he died because he was injured and exhausted. So that man is a big national hero in in Hungary, but also respected in Serbia and Romania. Interesting fact, after when the Pope heard the news that Belgrade was remaining in a Christian control, he was very happy and didn't listen. He ordered to every church in Europe to ring the bells at noon.
Oh, yeah.
And then tradition which started in 1456, it's still going on 2026. So the bells at noon and all churches around Europe are actually ringing in the honor of Belgrade defenders in 1456. So that's why this tower is also famous as Janjo Škunjadi Tower, Janko Sibinjan Tower. This is the Danube, you remember. Then down, the Danube is actually splitting around the island. You remember two parts of the Danube. That in the middle, it's actually beautiful island, the green island. Take a look on the distance. You can see there are on the distance those buildings looking like a triangles on the distance. Do you see? So those high buildings on the distance, that's the east gate of Belgrade. Then on the right, from those buildings, you can see single black tower. Do you see? Yes. Then it's a Belgrade lady. Then right from that single tower, then you can see Saint Sava Church, the big white church with a green dome. Do you notice? Yes. That's where we go later during the day. Down from the tower to the right, there is a newly built waterfront with those big buildings. But then let me back in Zemun. We are now, this is the old town of Zemun. This is a Serbian Orthodox Christian church. It's a Saint Nicholas church. It's the church from 1745, or nearly 300 years old, and it's an Orthodox Christian Serbian. But you see another church which looks very similar. It's a Roman Catholic church on the main square. And the Roman Catholic church was built on the main square because during the Austrian, Austro-Hungarian period, Roman Catholic religion was the main. So they were tolerant to the others, but on the main square there could be official Austro-Hungarian Roman Catholic. That's the cathedral, the main Serbian Christian church. But when you look left a bit from that big church, there are two smaller ones in the park. The one on the right is Roman Catholic Saint Roch, on the left is Archangel Michael Orthodox Monastery, and then there is the third one which has a kind of sharp roof. That's a Franciscan monastery. Very specifically, like Christians which are very small percent. So this, you see, in this area we have 6 churches in a small town, while in the old city tour yesterday we saw only 1 church. Because you remember there was a longer Turkish influence on that side, while this was a longer Christian influence. So that's how, at the end, for example, when we talk about history, Belgrade was 320 years Turkish controlled on that side, while this was a maximum 190 years controlled by the Ottoman army, because the Austrians and the Ottomans were facing very often on the have the name of this part of the city. It's Zemun, and Zemun is actually Slavic origin name. Zemlja in Serbian language means the soil. So Zemun is basically directly related to the word soil. Why? Because in the ancient times, when the Slavic people settled this area, they have actually discovered some of the remnants from underground houses where people used to live in the old times. In the old days, people who lived along the river, they had those houses in the water, while some people were digging underground because of better, conditions. And at the end, Zemunice were the names of those houses. So at the end, we have Zemun remaining from that spot. Unfortunately, this building, which is on the right-hand side, is not in a nice condition right now. But ladies and gents, in the older times, this was one of the most famous bell production companies. You see there, they still have like 3 bells. And Austrian, German influence was very strong. Even today, you remember, by the way, later we see Saint Sava. Crosses and bells on the Saint Sava church are from Germany and Austria. So they had that culture of, making metal decorations and everything. Yes. Yes, another pedestrian speed. I like it like a Narodni in Serbian because when you see National Museum, it's written Narodni Muzej. So it's kind of folks museum. It's a magistrat. Magistrat is basically
Kendimize bir şapka edindik. Rize Sampos'ta. Evet. Güzel.
are not local, but probably the strawberries can be, cherries can be, but it's too early. This can be local. It's a Spanish. Yes, a local fruit market here and
Kirazlar çıkmış burada.
yeah, mostly local.
Çık buradan. Nasıl olacak ki galiba?
Yeah, okay.
It's okay, fine, thank you.
Pa imam već sve. Ako imaš tu veliki špakl. Oh yes, make very nice. Or you can dip it in deep fry it.
Taze patates var.
Tako je, druga jagoda. Ne može da se poredi, ona mirisa dušom, miriše.
Is it potatoes?
Yeah, baby potato is very small, but it's the beginning. Yeah, this is just if they let it grow, then it becomes big. But now it's because this is also very cool when you prepare.
Yes, it's very
When I
nice.
was a child, my grandma was making those small. I love them so much.
It's much different than Turkish potato. They're very territorial.
哥哥到什么时候还没回来？已经到多久还没回来？
Barges bring mostly for the coal, for sand.
Oh, okay.
You know, because most of electricity we get in Serbia is from thermoelectrical power plants, and we have a huge thermoelectrical power plants down the stream, but also upstream on the Sava. So sometimes you can see such a big. I don't see too much material on this side now, but maybe something is there. I need to. Yes, while generally sometimes you can spot from the distance it's about sand or metal or coal. Because they dig the coal and they bring it to thermoelectric power plants because on the river it's lower. But we don't have, you know, like if you live in the Netherlands, you know how busy it is in the Rotterdam and the rivers. It's much stronger economy, bigger population, and it's not. At home is probably 6th of January. If I and then the young strong boys, sometimes girls in modern times, they jump in the river and they swim for the cross, and it's like you know, they are preparing physically for that because outside is colder than water. Water cannot be -3. Water is always in plus. But still jumping in such a water is a big bravery, and now it's getting more and more popular everywhere. And I just want to show you how plivanje za časni krst.
you did it yourself.
We do that.
For
on the
example,
12th of
just
January.
one of those.
In the seaside. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
And let me see. And then this is around the fortress, and yeah, this is in the middle of.
This month?
No, it's a
January,
January, in the middle of winter.
Oh, okay. Snow here.
It's snow. Yeah, sometimes it's snow, sometimes not. But